Hey guys, how's it going? So 9 days ago, which was November 9th, the day after the election, I was the first person that came on here and said, look, Michigan, gun control is coming. Here's some of the things I think we should expect, and here's what we all need to be prepared for. Well, let's fast forward and Gretchen Whitmer, right? They call her many things, but I want to keep this channel family friendly. She's running around to every news outlet she can, taking a victory lap and talking about her main priorities, her main agendas that she's going to accomplish in this next 4-year term. And of course, bingo, is anyone here surprised? Let me know down in the comments. I think I had one comment total that said, nah, she won't try to do gun control. But other than that, are you surprised? Gun control is right there at the top of her list. I'm going to show you guys a couple sources so you can look at it yourself and hear it right from the old horse's mouth, as the saying goes. But yes, she's talking about 3 things. And she's also talking about how optimistic that she is this will pass. Because Michigan has been a purplish, sometimes more red than blue state for quite a while. But this is the first time since I was a baby, quite frankly, that the Democrats have had the trifecta, meaning we now have upcoming in the next session that's coming in just a little over a month and a half, we will have a Democrat governor, a Democrat state-controlled Senate, and a Democrat state-controlled Michigan House. And then, of course, add in the Democrat Attorney General, which is going to make it even worse, as well as the Secretary of State, and they've pretty much got us like this, and the Supreme Court in Michigan still has basically a 1-vote liberal bias to it. So all of that's going on. All of that's reality. And she's talking about 3 things. Now, I want to emphasize real quick. She says this is just the start. That's very, very important. I believe she wants all of it. Probably wants to have gun control laws like New York and California have in Michigan. I have no doubt whatsoever. But she's starting off talking about these red flag laws. Yeah. Like they said, take the guns first, then due process. No, there is no then due process. If you take something from somebody while holding an ex parte hearing, meaning if somebody's red flagging you, you don't get to even know about, let alone be at the court hearing. Yeah, it's literally that sinister. Taking something from somebody who's supposed to be presumed to be innocent first, and then you have to come back and appeal or go through a process to prove your innocence, that means no due process. So that is not just an attack on the Second Amendment, attack on the Fourth Amendment, the First Amendment, because you're going to be afraid to even talk to people now and let them know what guns you have. The Fifth Amendment, it's literally just contrary to the United States of America, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. And by the way, it doesn't work. And in my opinion, makes people less safe, because when cops are crashing through your door in the middle of the night and you thought you were a, quote, law-abiding citizen. See the trap we get into here? Everyone always talks about Second Amendment rights for the law-abiding citizen. Until you look at things like red flag laws where you could be perfectly law-abiding, not breaking any laws at all. And boom, they come into your house, come into your apartment in the middle of the night. And that did actually happen in Maryland. And the homeowner, the firearm owner, did end up getting killed by the police when he answered the door with a gun in his hand. Very, very scary. But red flag laws are of the utmost importance, and she's very confident that that's something she can get done. The other, they call it different things, but it's basically secure storage. Secure storage. Okay. Common sense. Reasonable. Keep the guns out of the hands of children, except for, here's the problem with that. First of all, it's every parent's responsibility and every gun owner's responsibility not to just let children have free reign over guns that have no understanding of them, that don't know firearm safety. I'll let you guys be your own moral compass as far as how you should raise your own children. However, that's the heartstrings that they're tugging on, that they're trying to appeal to with this. But there's a huge problem with this. This doesn't work in either. Now, think of a scenario where you're in your home. A lot of people take their pistol off of them at night and put it on the nightstand, right? Because you can reach and grab for it right from the bed. I know people that keep a shotgun propped up in the corner by their bed. under their mattress, wherever. Some of you are nodding like, yeah, that's me, or somebody I know. Sure. Because when the glass breaks or you hear that bump in the night, and seconds matter, police are usually only minutes or much longer than that away, and they usually come to take a report of something that's already happened. And you need to be your own first responder. And you have the right to defend yourself, obviously. Not limited to. You have the right to defend yourself against anyone who's trying to cause irreversible harm, death, and against a tyrannical government wherever you're at. But let's go back isolated within your home. You certainly, obviously, also have the right to defend yourself there. And when that criminal just busted through your window, is coming into your house as fast as they can towards the bedroom to do who knows what, you don't even want to find out what, it could be so horrific. Do you think you're going to have the time to undo a cable that might be going through the guns? We don't know exactly how this bill will look, but that's usually what it would entail. Or jimmy the combination as fast as you can into your safe, while the bad guy could be doing something physically to you or to your wife or to your children. Yeah, who's going to have the calm to sit there and jimmy with a combination lock? So, yet again, they say for the children, I think parents are responsible for being good parents and teaching their children about firearm safety within the home, making your own provisions that you need to make sure a child can't erroneously or irresponsibly or unknowingly make a firearm discharge. But I'll tell you what this will be guaranteed to do is to make it where when seconds matter, it could take you minutes to be able to get to that firearm, to defend yourself at the spur of the moment, where you might not have the dexterity or mental clarity to unlock the safe, unlock the whatever, traverse across the house to the gun room, whatever it may be that might satisfy the requirements for the proposed legislation that she's asking the state legislature to put on her desk, by the way. The third thing, she's calling for universal background checks. Now, you'll read some of these liberal news articles, and I'm going to quote 3 sources down in the description if you guys want to browse. They're going to say this ends the private transfer loophole. See, Michigan on long guns. See, Michigan already has a handgun registry, a pistol registry, which is highly unconstitutional. And we shouldn't have to put up with that. But they've had that in the state of Michigan for a long time. Now she wants to add long guns, where there would be no longer would you be allowed to do face-to-face transfers with long guns. That means universal background checks, which means registration. You guys know what's coming next. Of course, confiscation, because registration has always led to confiscation, and it always will. Now, again, this is just the start, Governor Whitmer said. And look, I don't trust her as far as I could throw her, obviously. I believe she is completely contrary to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and completely contrary to individual freedoms of people who live in Michigan. But there's one thing we can trust her on, because even people like her will tell the truth sometimes. She says these are top priorities, and I guarantee you, she's not lying about that. She also is very hopeful that the Democrat-controlled legislature, the House and Senate, will get these through law and on her desk, get them to be bills where they can be signed. In Michigan, a law becomes known as a public act. We're talking potential prison sentences for offenders of some of these laws that have already been proposed in previous legislative sessions for trying to loan or sell or gift a gun to your brother, your father, your neighbor, your friend. Yeah, that could be criminalized in Michigan very soon if the governor gets her way. Not having a gun on standby, ready to go right when you need it, that you know is safe, and you're storing it responsibly right out in the open by where you sleep, that could soon become unlawful in Michigan, hindering your right to be able to protect yourself. And then basically the whole Constitution, Bill of Rights, and everything that makes America different from other countries would go away with these so-called red flag laws, which I believe are very, very dangerous. I don't want this video to go too long. I just wanted to talk about this. Look, they only have a 2-seat majority in the House and Senate, which means if there's even 1 or 2, well, it'll take more than 1, 2 or maybe 3 Democrats in the state of Michigan in one of the 2 chambers that's a pro-gun Democrat. You don't really see that at all on the federal level anymore whatsoever. But on the state level, sometimes it's still possible. I did have a pro-gun state rep a couple terms ago in Michigan in my area. It's possible. We need to find who they are. We need to put pressure on them. And we need to somehow try to stop this. But I just want you guys to know what's happening. When I get bill numbers, because there will be bills, because there were many of these introduced in the last session, but the Republicans blocked them. When the bills start getting introduced, and they actually now start to have a chance of passing, I'll be on here again with bill numbers. I'll be on here with names of representatives and senators where you might be able to sway their vote. The rest of you that might be watching, that might be living in other states in the United States, or even other countries as far as that goes. Other countries, yeah, you probably already have this or worse than that. Other states where you have a Democrat legislature that just took over, a Democrat governor, I would expect all of these things right off the bat, plus a lot more. I'm just going to transition over here real quick, guys. We have a story from Bridge, Michigan. They're reporting on it. This is what Whitmer said. I'm always mindful that the best solutions are what we can do for the people of Michigan, not what one party wants. Or what one party doesn't want, although she's going to do everything her party wants, even though I guarantee you way more than half of the people in Michigan do not want. But it says she's going to take on priorities, long discussed Democratic priorities. They talk about one Democratic bill blocked by the current GOP-led legislature would require adult gun owners with children in their home to secure their firearms, to store their firearms in a secure lockbox. There you go. That'll give the criminal that broke in your house all the time they need to do whatever they're going to do. Under that previous bill, adults could face up to 5 years in prison. It also says another bill would create a red flag law. And it also talks further. Whitmer also wants to close a loophole that allows people to buy long guns from a private seller without submitting to a background check required for purchase from a dealer. I'm just skimming these, but you can see the left liberal leaning of the way these articles are written too. WXYZ's talking about it again. Here's another quote from Whitmer. We owe it to the people of this state to have policies that are proven, like secure storage and background checks and red flag laws, Whitmer said. These are some of the things I support and am encouraged, she says. The next legislature will get to my desk. Okay, that's WXYZ Detroit. Here's from MLive. One example. Whitmer wants to enact some common sense gun safety measures, such as requiring guns to be stored securely, universal background checks for firearms purchases, or red flag laws. Here's another quote. These were non-starters with the former legislature, she said. I am hopeful, especially it's on the minds of so many people as we are on the sad one-year mark of what happened in Oxford High School. That we can get some of these policies done so we can keep our students and teachers and our families and communities safer. There you guys go. None of these make people safer, and that's my opinion, but not only my opinion. It's provable. Look at places like California with the most strict gun laws. How safe do you think that state is? Look at places like New York. How safe is that? Think about a place called Chicago that people literally call Chirac because it's more dangerous than what USGI's explained it was like in Iraq for the most part. And all the strict gun laws there. Look at the red flag laws in Maryland. And look at the crime in the big cities there. Yeah. You can see what happens when you enact more gun control. The less good people with guns or free access to guns, the more the bad people with guns remain unchecked. And the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And apparently, Governor Whitmer is trying to stop all of the good people from protecting themselves and the state of Michigan and their families with guns as possible. Alright guys, thanks for watching and have a good one.